Welcome back to the Alchemy of Architecture as we continue our look at the art of Adobe right here at El Portal in Sedona, Arizona.
In the meantime, I got the design group involved to say, can we build a 12-room inn? I knew I wanted 12 rooms, not any bigger. I wanted it to be just like our house, but I wanted each room to be totally different.
The main goal that Steve and Connie talked about was wanting to create a very classic Sedona building, something that felt like it could have been here for many, many years.
The idea was this was going to be a turn of the century, 1910, 1920 hacienda, and it's been remodeled to be an inn. So it would have great bathrooms, and the furnishings would all be the period.
There was some goal from the very beginning to imbue a little bit of that arts and crafts movement flavor to this whole project. The arts and crafts movement was something that happened around the turn of the century as a response to industrialism and mass manufacturing of products and materials and even buildings, that sort of thing. And the people that generated that movement philosophically felt that there was some human quality that was being lost as we all leaped forward into industrialism, and there could be a very nice design sense to utilitarian things rather than everything being the same.
Every inch of this structure was covered with a real human's hand. There's no drywall, there's no sprayed on paint. It's all an integral color plaster, and that alone really speaks strongly to the philosophical tenets of the arts and crafts movement that Max was speaking about, and you end up with just a sense of humanity to every little line. I think one of the things outside of the planning concept that Max and I were really sticking with was just a simplicity, almost getting ourselves out of the way as architects and letting it be very simple, just gable end forms. And it's very strong and successful because we didn't try and do a lot of whiz-bang architecture here. We just stayed very true to a lodge-like vernacular, put our efforts into good planning and good detailing and a good organizational concept.
El Portal sits in the heart of Sedona's pedestrian area, so the team chose to design the buildings to enclose a private courtyard.
When we first started out, we knew that was going to become the heart of El Portal.
It does a number of things. It creates your own world and your own sense of space that's private from what you have right outside the walls here.
It's proportioned into a golden mean rectangle, which in the alchemy of architecture, I guess you could say that's a classic proportion to get a harmonious feeling.
And the views to the eastern rim, when you're back in this part of the space, you actually can look over the roofs here to the rim and you screen out what's in front of you.
We had to have a courtyard. And luckily all the whole haciendas had courtyards. And a lot of thought went into how the lawn interacts with the steps, with the walkways, and with the cracks, because it had to be correct. And I think we did 3 or 4 plans and threw them all away, and at the last minute, it just kind of developed.
We made a very conscious effort to get some rooms all the way up front, rooms spreading around the side, entrances, passageways in and out in multiple locations. And all of that keeps that courtyard really feeling alive and active as the heart of the building.
When you enter, you actually are entering down at one end of the covered courtyard, and the portal, the name of the place, is a covered passageway along the edge of a courtyard. And you can enter and walk down the portal, so there's that activity when people come and go.
So when you come inside the courtyard, you're in this microcosm of another time, and we wanted this microcosm to be 1910. So when you walked in, there would be nothing that would distract you from this feeling about 1910. We also wanted to have furniture that was movable, so people could scoot up and form circles and talk if they wanted to. And we wanted to feed our people when we had our dinners and breakfasts all around the edge of the portico, wherever they wanted to sit.
Another feature in the courtyard is a pond that Steve built.
I went out and I found a great big stone that weighed a couple tons, and it was flat and about 8 feet across, and I said, well, that'll be great in the middle, so that we had elements that people could go up and touch and feel and stand on and look.
We'll be back with more Alchemy of Architecture right after this.
We felt that 1910 was our line, and that whenever we had a design decision, if they didn't do it in 1910, we stopped and said, okay, how would they have done it in 1910?